Yeah, so just to clarify, was not a Hillary Clinton person. I did a write-in 2016. I
Gotcha.
was, stupid to do that. I certainly should have voted for Trump in 2016. But like recognize, especially after the deplorables comment, like how dangerous of a person Hillary Clinton was, and I think what she represented was really disgusting. I think it's sort of the worst of this, like creating a second class tier of citizens among our own country. I really didn't like Hillary Clinton, but yeah, look, I was wrong about Trump. And I think that what did Trump do or what changed your mind about Trump? I think it's this is such a complicated and long conversation that we could have, but I really don't think it was primarily about Trump, right? So there were these policy wins. There were things that he did that I really liked. I really liked the China policy. I really liked that he went after their manufacturing theft against the American worker. I really like that just rhetorically he changed the conversation on China in a way that even Joe Biden is picking up on some of Trump's themes, even if unfortunately I don't think he's going to replicate the policy successes. He's at least picking up on Trump's rhetoric. Um, you know, like I really liked I really liked the immigration policy. I liked the fact that we actually had control of the southern border, that we were starting to have a real conversation about what do we do with our legal immigration system, which I think is broken just as our illegal immigration system is. So there were these policy victories where I was happy about. Like I didn't really think that he'd deliver on these things, and he actually did deliver on these things, and that was meaningful and important. But really, it was about like I saw and realized something about the American elite and about my role in the American elite that took me just a while to figure out, right? And I was red pilled, and frankly, there are a lot of people I think who see what I said in 2016 and say, well, fundamentally, this guy, we don't trust him, right? And frankly, if I was in their shoes, it would take me a little bit to trust JD Vance as well. But if I'm trying to explain this, so the personal biography here is I came from more or less nothing, right? I came from a working class family. Nobody in my family had gone to college. I get to Yale Law School. I write this best-selling book. I have my own like, business that's doing very well. And I'm like all of a sudden have been dunked into this elite world in a way that I never even fully realized, right? And I think that a lot of the influences of that elite world were making me basically a less happy person, but were also making me not as mindful about how broken our elite culture was, right? Because they bring you into this world, they have you at their Sun Valley conference, which people call Billionaires Boot Camp, and they have you do these speeches in front of all these chief executives. And it feels really good to be included in these circles, and you start to lose sight of where you came from and who you were. And I think that really is something that started to happen to me. And thank God, by the grace of God or by luck, I started to realize that was happening, and I started to just push back against it in a very explicit and public way. And this is, one thing I'll